Okay, so for our research, we went through the 3 different markets. So it's the industrial manufacturing and the industrial transportation. And what we found out is that there's a main trend happening, which is the urbanization. And it brings basically to the manufacturers from the cities to the suburbs. And it changed basically the suburbs to farmers to manufacturing. So what happened is that we decided, instead of focusing on the farmer, which is pretty much a big threat because of the suburb movement, we tend to look after more about the platform of the food deposit center. And so the solution that we found is
well, we saw that there's this connection between the farmers and as well as the modern farms to the food deposit center. And the food deposit center wasn't really a place that's being looked at publicly by consumers, but it is probably the best place as like a middleman, rather than having a local producer be the middleman between the farmer and everything else. This guy's kind of the middleman. So we came up with the solution of creating a brand system for food deposit centers. So the food deposit centers would be brands within themselves, and that would aid the transparency of consumers to the places that provide the food. So our timeline is kind of that. Do you want to explain this?
Yeah, so essentially, you get your produce straight from either from the farmer or from modern farms, and they go to the deposit centers, and there's a certification, there's a trust process, proving whether it's not expired, what the fresh the livelihood of the food's going to be. So they go through this process. They incur kind of that responsibility that whatever our name is on, whatever our brand is on, is going to be trusted. Because there's a lot of conversation in China about restaurants serving expired foods and so forth, and there's really no transparency of where it's coming from and how good the product is. So from the deposit center, it would go towards either the supermarkets, the brands, the restaurants, and they all kind of have the certification. So you're trusting that where you're purchasing from the deposit center, that it's of good quality. And later on the consumer level, they'll see the certification saying, okay, I can trust that what I'm spending on is coming from a trusted and good source.
Essentially, we're shifting the responsibility of providing transparency from places like supermarkets and restaurants where people normally get their food to the deposit centers, and having the supermarkets and the restaurants leverage the certification and the brands of the deposit center, so that the supermarket then just becomes, and the restaurant then just becomes all about the service of providing you with the food, not dealing with the quality of your food.
The quality.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Awesome.